again everyone and welcome back to another Figma review, and this time it's Figma SP-055 Red Pyramid thing from the greatest survival horror game of all time, Silent Hill 2. And this time, this is made by Freeing. So you can kinda see him in there through the window on the front of the box. There he is in all his glory on the side, over on this side, and on the top, and down there on the bottom as well. And there on the back are some awesome pictures of the figure in action, and goddamn I wish I had a background like this here for recording the video. But anyway, that's enough about the box. Let's bust this thing open and see what we've got. So there's that clear inner packaging, and with the figure itself, an alternate neck, his spear, flipping it around to the back. We've got the great knife, the stand, Figma bag, and down here, the alternate hands. Also the instructions in Japanese and English around here. So let's not waste any more time, let's check this thing out. So there he is out of the box, and what can I say, this looks beyond awesome. As far as I know, this is the first Figma made by Freeing, and I have to say I am impressed. They have seriously done this iconic bad guy justice. This is probably one of the most detailed Figma I have ever seen. The paint and the detailing on here, what can I say? It is just superb. One thing you could maybe complain about is it has strayed a little bit away from the original character design. In Silent Hill 2, it had a lot less detail and did look a lot shinier and gooier. Also definitely not so muscular. To be honest, this does look like it's more based on the statue by Gecko as opposed to the character model from the game. The head has a lot more detail, including rusted broken parts, and the apron as well almost looks identical to the Gecko statue. This may be disappointing to some, but I still think it's awesome. Like I mentioned already, the degree of detail on the pyramid section is phenomenal. All those cracks, breaks, rusted parts, it just looks awesome. The arms also look great with a great sculpt, but he does look like he has been hitting the weights lately. Coming from below the pyramid then is this bloody looking sack of I don't know what. That looks fantastic. That is nasty. That is awesome. And for the hell of it, why not look right up into the bottom of that? That is disgusting. I love it. The gloves down there looking great as well. And is that some mild blood staining I see on there? I think so. Like I mentioned, a lot of liberties have been taken with the apron. In the game it looked like it could almost be made out of his own flesh, but here it is definitely made out of another material completely. Again, the detail and paintwork on there is fantastic as well. And up on the top here, we've got some great looking straps. And down here we have the boots, and they're probably the plainest aspect of this figure. But still, they look good. All in all, it's one sick, awesome looking figure. And that is what Pyramid Head would look like with a regular head. And that looks pretty weird. And there is one more for the hell of it. So there he is with everything that he comes with. And that's a set of 8 alternate hands, an alternate neck section, a spare joint, as well as the spear and the great knife. So there are the alternate hands. You get 8 of those, and just like in the game, these appear to be some kind of gloves that have these 3 fingers attached and the baby one there separate. They look pretty damn cool, and again, these all look like they're slightly bloodstained. That looks pretty cool. And here you have 2 different types of holding hands, one slightly at an angle, these widespread open hands, as well as these other open palmed hands with the fingers together. And up next is Pyramid Head's iconic great knife. This is all one piece, and it's in black, dry brushed with a metallic silver. And next is the spear. Again in black, but dry brushed here with a typical Silent Hill reddish brown. And up here on the top, it's dry brushed again in metallic silver, just like the great knife. And this is made of 2 separate parts. And the reason for that leads right into this alternate neck piece. So now this can connect into this hole here, just like that. And that's for recreating this iconic scene from Silent Hill 2. Next on to the articulation, and as always, from the pyramid head down. First up is the neck joint, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of articulation there is here. So that's it all the way up, all the way down, and that is way better than I was expecting. A little bit of side to side there, and also you're not going to spin that all the way around. Articulation at the shoulder all the way up. That's pretty good. As usual, that can spin all the way around. There's that bend at the elbow. The wrist is your normal Figma joint, so you can get a lot out of that. It is a little more restricted than your average Figma, but it's still pretty good. For the ab crunch, we've got 2 joints, one up here and one down here, and that is it all the way to the front, and there it is all the way to the back, so that is pretty good. You're going to be pulling off some weird, twisted, classical pyramid head poses with that. Next, moving to the joints at the hips, and this should be interesting as this whole section around here is closed with some slight splits in the front here. So let's see what we can get out of this. So there it is all the way up to the front, but you're not gonna get a whole lot towards the back, and that's about it out to the sides. To be honest, I don't know if this part is meant to be coming out like that. It probably isn't. Next up, the bend at the knee, and there's that. And then at the ankle, you've got up, down, a little bit of a side-to-side tilt there, and you can spin that around. And last up here is the bend at the toes. Now just a quick note on the quality, and as always, the quality here is superb. Like I've already mentioned, the paint and detailing is awesome on here. All that minor attention to detail looks spectacular. Those awesome Figma flexible parts on here, so you do get some articulation out of the legs, more than you would if this was one big solid part, so that's pretty cool. But I will mention that the joint up here has popped on me before. When I lifted that up, it just popped out. Doesn't seem to be a problem now, but it did pop out, and it was a little hard to get back in. And the last thing I'll mention here really isn't a quality point, it's more of a personal issue with the design choices. Pyramid Head was always so slimy and sick looking, but they really went for a matte look on here. I would have liked to see that traditional, glossy, wet, sick finish on there, but this is still pretty cool. Again, that would just be down to personal preference. So that is it for the review, and what can I say? The red pyramid thing is one of my all-time favorite horror icons from one of my all-time favorite horror franchises. And I have to say, I'm just happy that it got a Figma. You probably know by now, I love Figma, but I also love Pyramid Head. So these things together is like a dream. Again, an epic figure. But like I said, I do feel it could be a little bit glossier. I think that would look cool. But then again, beggars can't be choosers, and I want to see as many of these come out as possible. The Silent Hill 2 nurses are on the horizon, which is great, but I want to see more. Lots more, so buy as many as you can. Buy 2, buy 3, buy 4, I don't know. I want to see more Silent Hill Figma. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to come back for more Figma reviews. See you next time.